Do you ever want to dive deeper into the Bible, but you just don't know where to begin, or struggle to feel like you even have the time? When you read the Bible, do you get frustrated because you know there's so much more in there? You just have no clue how to get it out? Or maybe you want to know the Bible better, and you're looking for any resource to help. Then this is the podcast for you. Welcome to the Context and Color of the Bible. We're sisters. I'm Veronica.
I'm Erika.
And we love to study the Bible, and we love to help others understand it better. When it comes to our own study of Scripture, we have found that in bringing back the context of Scripture, it adds so much to our understanding. It actually adds color to the black and white pages of the text. Erika, we are slowly getting closer to the end of Judges. And it's just been fascinating how this whole book is falling into place for me. But also I've learned a couple things now, just Bible study tip wise, like pay attention when a tribe is mentioned. Mm-hmm. You know, kind of always I didn't ever realize keep that thought of when the tribe is given, I need to keep that kind of like a name tag on that person of the tribe of, because there's so much that as you're going through this, it's like, oh, if I would pay attention to which tribe, who goes where, and certain tribes like the tribe of Levi have different obligations. And we'll get into that more next week. But I think that's one of the Bible study tips I am taking away from Judges is location is important. Because you've got to remember they were allotted certain land, so therefore certain cities go. So put that person in their location and then which tribe, who they're with.
So wait, you're telling me every word matters? Veronica, is that what you're saying?
It is, but there's details now. Now I know what to do with these details. Before it was like, okay, fine, background information. Erika has blue eyes. You know, that's what it felt like. And it's like, well, what does blue eyes have to do with anything? Well, nothing unless I have a story, and I don't.
When you find out everybody with blue eyes has this specific gene and this gene makes them open to this disease and I don't know, I'm turning it into
that
like
yeah. But just that kind of information. That's what it felt like. Oh, here, you just need to know fun little tidbit. Erika has blue eyes. Well, no, in the Bible, when it comes to those fun little tidbits, it's there for a purpose, and I need to always look back to go, okay, what does that give me? And then look forward to go, how's this going to play out in the story?
Like the rabbis say, God does not waste ink.
I know, but
sometimes you need it proven.
Yes.
You need to see it in real time.
And I need to know, okay, why didn't he waste ink here?
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
You know,
yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
So.
We're all kind of like toddlers.
Yes.
We need it shown over and over again.
Yes. But just adding that layer of depth now. Now I go, okay, I do want to see what tribe, what city. Go get a map.
Right.
I did for a while have a good map in my head of where certain cities were. After I had done, your husband gave me some map thing.
Yeah.
That I made Kylie go through. I have not made Kaden go through it.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I know.
We had to do that at school at JUC.
Yeah. So, which, let's say that real quick because we haven't said that in a long time. Erika does have her master's degree, and I always mess it up.
Historical geography and archaeology.
Yes.
Essentially, it's all about the land of Israel, the Bible, putting context pieces back together to understand it better.
Yeah. And JUC is short for?
Jerusalem University College. It's in Jerusalem. Amazing school.
Yes. So I was interacting with someone recently on social media, and she was like, oh, I didn't know that about Erika. And I was like, oh, yeah, we haven't said it in a long time. So there is some credentials behind it other than she reads books.
That makes me, wow.
Yes. So, all right, with that, turn it over to you and Judges chapter 17.
All right. So, Veronica, we just got done judging the judges. Mm-hmm. And if you could sum it up, what would you say? From the last
bowl.
Toilet bowl. It's valid.
From the last judge or all of them?
All of them.
It is a downward cycle. And each step down, it's like, it's in a way they almost take whatever the last one did and went, I'm going to do worse.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
However, you, in a way, kind of upping the ante, but going downward.
In a bad way?
Yeah. You killed your siblings, I'll kill my child. I killed my child, well, I'll kill myself.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
So that.
It's fascinating because, like you said, that toilet bowl, that was the picture we used, is Israel being flushed. And it's a circle, but it's a circle going downhill. And from a literary perspective, the book begins to feel like it's describing chaotic, a bit frustrating. It sets up cycles and patterns, and only to break it. So as you read about Israel descending, the story itself begins to descend in the way it's told. And it ends up just being a story of women carousing men who drink too much, care too little, and hang out just doing their own thing, regardless of who they hurt. And I think that's Samson to a T, truthfully. I love one commentary sums it up. Ehud acts like a Canaanite with treachery and brutality. Barak, weak-willed and indecisive. Gideon is cynical, resistant, and king-like. Jephthah is an ambitious pagan who acts with God with paganism. He's abusive towards his daughter. Samson is suspicious. He treats his Nazirite vow with contempt, fritters away his high calling. So the book of Judges is not written to hold up these men as examples to follow. It is written as a memorial to the Lord's grace and mercy. He is the reason Israel is still around to this day. And we realize as readers, it is the faithfulness of God that is keeping Israel intact. And it's interesting, clearly we're beginning to realize there's something within Israel that needs to be dealt with. There's something in the heart of Israel that hasn't been touched yet. But if we look through the history of the world, we see clearly there's something within the heart of mankind that needs to be dealt with. We have to be honest enough to admit the problem with Israel is the problem with us. Sin. Sin is in the heart of everyone. It's a human problem that we're seeing over and over again. And as we see the faithfulness of God, we also begin to see a God who isn't this cold, angry deity, but he reacts to his people. He hurts with his people. He loves his people. And therefore, that means discipline of his people. And I had to discipline a couple of my kids today, and it hurts.
For the bloodbath.
Yeah. My daughter may have had a massive bloody nose, somewhat accidentally.
Thanks to her little brother.
Yeah, thanks to her little brother. Shot right in the nose. But,
Boys.
It hurts to discipline your kids, but it hurts even worse if you don't, eventually. So you cannot see God in this story as just cold, calculating. He is in the story, his faithfulness, his grace, his mercy, but also discipline of his people. All right, so that has been the Judges. And up till now, we've been focused on the leaders of Israel, these deliverers. And we're beginning to wonder, what about the common man, woman, child? Are they doing better? What about the Levites, the priests? We have read nothing about the tribe of Levi. Where are they? Well, this is going to perfectly set us up for the last two stories in the book of Judges. The closing denouement? Is that how you pronounce it?
I have no idea.
If I pronounced it wrong, I apologize. We had our two opening intros. The first looked at the physical elements of Israel's decline, chapter 1. The second intro, chapter 2, pulls back that layer and looks underneath to the spiritual decline. And this narrator is so phenomenal. He does the exact same thing at the end. Chapter 17 and 18 focus on the religious dimension of Israel decline. We have idols, priests, a holy war. That fits that second opening. It makes that layer. And then chapters 19 through 21 deal with the social dimension. We have inhospitality, rape, murder, deception, a civil war. So it's like these layers of a book or an onion that are being wrapped together. All right. Our story in Judges, start in chapter 17. We start out with a man. What's his name, Veronica?
Micah.
Do you remember what his name means? I mentioned it briefly.
You did. Is it who is like the Lord?
Very good.
It helps I have a nephew named Micah.
I know. We did not name him after this man.
That's good.
Yeah. That his name implies that God is God alone. There's no one like him. So it's impossible to create an image of him or an idol that represents him. Remember, that's what his name means, because that will become very ironic in this story. All right. As I was fleshing out this lesson and writing it, my brain just went to like this movie, old time movie, or The Twilight Zone, one of those black and white
Dad will be thrilled.
episodes. Yes, where things start out normal and then they like completely get flipped and twisted. And it's just really wonky. And so that's the way my brain shaped this story. So I'm going to say like our camera focuses in on this. It's black and white on this old house. It's a very nice looking house, very big yard. There's a dog on the porch. You go in and it just seems like this nice, respectful family. A mom and her adult son are sitting in the living room and she's either like crocheting or doing a crossword puzzle or something. And the son is sitting there nervous and it just looks kind of nice, but we're also realizing something's wrong. The son is just sitting there and he's like twitching. He's nervous. He's anxious. And you could hear the clock tick in the background. And finally, the son's like, Mom, I have to tell you something. I stole from you. Why would the son do this? And the amount he names, Veronica, is the exact same amount Delilah is given from the Philistine leaders to capture Samson. Do you remember that was a massive
Oh, yeah. It was like she
amount.
could like retire and have no
Yes.
worries for the rest of her life.
Yes. This family
And like her
wealthy.
family could.
Yes.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a ton of money. And that's the amount of money this son stole from his mom.
And she didn't miss it?
I know. Well, she did. And we're going to find out what she did about it. But the fact that they have the same amount immediately lets us begin to compare and contrast Delilah and this man, Micah. And sadly, Micah looks worse. I mean, Delilah is the ultimate in horrible women. But you can say, at least as bad as she was, at least she was doing a job. It was a business transaction. Micah's an Israelite who stole from his own mother. So if she's bad, he's like even worse. And we're beginning to go, what kind of a mother raises a son who steals from her? Then we find out why he told his mom he stole it, because apparently he's getting away with it. She cursed the money and the thief.
Oh.
He's terrified of the curse. I'm not coming clean because I feel bad, Mom. I'm coming clean because you cursed me. And she reacts with, oh, God bless you, my son. She's using verbiage specifically to try to undo the curse. This is superstition here. This isn't a legitimate, oh, my son, God bless you. No, I'm terrified now for you that my curse might come true. On top of that, he then must give her back the money, and she takes it. And she consecrates it to the Lord, I think, as added just to make sure this curse doesn't come true.
Sure.
I'm removing the curse, and now I'm giving it back to God. But when you consecrate something to the Lord, what do you do with that?
You're supposed to give it to him.
You
and
give it.
leave it.
Yeah, somehow he gets it. What does she do with it?
She gave part of it to him.
A big part or a little part?
Well, she gave 200 pieces out of 1,100 pieces.
Right. So she takes a part of it, not even half, and gives it to her son, and they create an idol out of it. I mean, this whole situation is wonky because you've consecrated it to the Lord, and now you're going to take a part of it and turn it into an idol. And Micah's name means there's no idol can compare with God. On top of that, what'd she do with the rest of the money?
Doesn't say.
It doesn't say, which leaves us as the reader to think she kept it.
Well, if you're cursing the money, you're cursing the person who stole it. Your son stole it. You're probably not the most upstanding person.
Right.
Truthfully.
Right. This nice looking, beautiful home that looks innocent on the outside, we're realizing maybe she's a mafia mom. Like, yeah, there's something twisted here. Something's not right. And so Micah sets up this huge ephod and shrine. Now, truthfully, it probably was just like on a wall, like a portion in a little area of his home. But for our movie purposes, I'm going to say he built like a church structure in his yard.
Because you want it obvious.
I want it obvious. And
To
he
people
puts an
coming by.
idol. Yes, it's an obvious big thing. People walking by can see and know about it. And then Micah takes one of his sons and turns him into a priest. Nothing about this is biblical. Nothing about this is right. I mean, the music would begin to hit a minor key as we're like, nothing's adding up here. Micah, what are you doing? Why are you doing
and
this?
he's not even of the right tribe.
No.
He's of Ephraim. I mean, this is where so much of your backstory comes from understanding Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus. I'm assuming Numbers and Deuteronomy, even though I haven't studied them.
Yes.
That kind of depth. But it's like, oh, you can't have a priest from the tribe of Ephraim. You're going against what God already has his people, his place. And so if you don't keep that backstory,
yes,
it doesn't it falls flat, but you don't know why it's falling flat.
Right. But now we know, and this is in the heartland of Israel. This is in Ephraim. It's in the middle of the country, the heart of the nation. Well, time moves on, and we see this young man come walking down the road toward Micah's house. Micah happens to be outside, and so they exchange pleasantries and they get into a conversation. And we find out this young man is a Levite, and he's from Bethlehem. He's a drifter. He's just going from place to place. And right away, we are not too impressed. I mean, this young man looks, he's a schmoozer, so he can act impressive. But the Levites had towns they were supposed to be living in. This guy's just drifting. They were supposed to be teaching other tribes about Scripture, how to obey God's commands. So we're waiting through this entire conversation for this young man to point at the shrine and be like, that's wrong. Get rid of it. How can you? Instead, Micah makes the Levite an offer he can't refuse. 10 pieces of silver a year, room, board, and clothing. Come be my personal priest. I mean, this is amazing for this young man who wouldn't want a cushy job like this. On top of it, Micah tells this young man, you will be like a father to me. But at this point, Micah's the older man. So it's just this topsy-turvy. Everything's on its head. Micah, whose name is reminders, there's no one like God, has made an idol with money consecrated to the Lord. Now he tells a young man, you're my father. And you're not even of the right, you're of the tribe of Levi, and I'm going to make you my priest at my shrine. Like all of this is upside down, chaotic. And the Levite moves in. Like, this is great. And then it says he becomes like a son to Micah. Now, the Levite has this cushy job, but it's also very uppity job. He's spiritual leader to a wealthy man. He's probably a bit full of himself. He's really young to be favored like this. And Micah is beyond thrilled. I mean, he now has an actual Levite for a priest. So how great is that? Of course, God has to bless him because he's actually doing it kind of legitimately with a Levite. And he has a pagan shrine and an idol. I mean, this is great. The blessings that are just going to pour out on him. He'll be protected from everyone and everything forever. The irony of the moment should be hitting as the reader. We should be going, what? This is crazy. Micah, what are you doing? What are you thinking? Levite, what are you doing? What are you thinking? They have taken this sacrificial system that God created as a way for his people to safely draw near. And Micah has turned it into a way to manipulate and make it pagan. It's a good luck charm. That's all this is for Micah.
It's a counterfeit.
Yes. It'll keep me safe. We're realizing Micah knows nothing of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And apparently the Levite doesn't either, or he doesn't care. And we're just wondering, what is going to happen? Can this get any worse? And that's how chapter 17 closes. Everything's upside down, topsy-turvy.
But I feel like, I mean, with Samson, we came back to either he doesn't know. At best, he doesn't know, which speaks poorly of the entire generation of you're not training up the next generation. At worst, he doesn't care, which is like, okay, you were trained, but it went in one ear and out the other, and you don't care enough to go, there's going to be consequences. And you're back to these two. I mean, in a way you go, okay, every time you say Micah's name, you're saying, who is like the Lord? And it's like, oh, Micah, you think you're like the Lord. You put yourself in that position of you have a priest, you have a place where people are worshiping.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And you go, oh, when you thought the story couldn't get worse,
No, it does.
it does get worse. I mean, just that step down, and I know where we're going with the next chapter. And you go, oh, how low can Israel as a whole, collectively and individually, fall and go down?
I think isn't there a Bible? And I feel like I should know this.
Isn't there a Bible? Yes, there are Bibles there.
But isn't there a Bible passage that like nobody knows the evil that lurks in the heart of a man? Isn't that a scripture passage? I'm so throwing this at you,
I
Autumn.
don't know.
I'm sorry. She's now quickly looking it up to see, and maybe I'm wrong. Who knows what evil lurks in the heart of a man? I don't know. I might have to drop that. But I feel like when left to our own devices, I don't want to know what I'd be capable of.
It's from The Shadow.
Oh, what's The Shadow? Is that an old radio show, right?
That's what I'm finding.
I think I heard it on Odyssey. The Adventures in Odyssey from years ago.
Okay.
Wit and Tom. That's what I'm hearing it from. Who knows what evil?
From The Shadow.
Oh, whoops, sorry. Never mind.
Not biblical. Thanks, Air.
Yeah, I still think there's a biblical concept there, though.
Sure. It's a fictional character created by an American magazine publisher.
Whoops, sorry. I didn't mean to like steal anything.
But the point is, ultimately, we're going to watch Israel. If you think this is bad, we're going to watch Israel continue to sink down.
Yeah.
And you just go, oh, all it takes is one generation to let it go. So, with our non-biblical references, it's okay. It works.
It does.
But just again, this is why it's so important to dig into the Old Testament, to understand Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, because it is that foundation. I kept saying that with Leviticus. It is that foundation for all the rest of your stories. Well, now I'm seeing where Leviticus, you need to understand it. You need to understand Deuteronomy, the blessings and the curses, and where these people came from to go, oh, I see more of what's going on, and you need a map.
Yeah, that does help.
It would help.
That really does help.
So that's it. Next week, come back. We're going to continue the story with Micah and find out what happens. But for now, join us on our social media. We have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have Pinterest. And if you can think of a Bible verse that kind of sounds... or
Help me out, please.
Yes. So thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you next time.
Bye-bye.